How can you achieve more? Whether this be in your career, your relationships, or your finances.
Most of us grew up knowing that for us to make a decent living, we had to study hard and get good jobs after graduating, and that was that. But in a world where unemployment rates are soaring, even with a degree, what is the root cause?
In yesteryears, when education was not widespread, people still made a decent enough living, even without regular jobs. Some people were farmers, others were animal keepers, and so on and so forth. But can that still happen today?
Apparently it can. Our guest Wairimu Gachungi, mentor and mental health coach at Mentorship for Excellence, says, while it might seem like the obvious thing to focus on is the actual money, she posits that without personal development, there will not be any money made. How does she mean?
I don't want to make a mistake that higher education is very important. Let's get straight. But most importantly is to have a holistic approach of life. You know, we sometimes tend to just rush into getting money, into businesses, into careers without an approach that will help you. Number one, a holistic approach. What am I talking about? It is about your social, your emotional, your spiritual, your physical, your mental, your financial. All must be in harmony for you to be able to think and achieve more. So that when you have an idea that is built on your strength, that is built on your talent, that is built on your gift, you'll be able to be a go-getter. Once you take a personal development by asking yourself 3 questions. What is going on well in my life? What are the issues? And what can I do differently? You'll be able to achieve more. The danger we have today, Pona, is when I see you with a tuck shop, I start one. When I see you designing clothes, I go for it. When I see you selling airtime, I go for it. I do not even understand myself whether I'm an entrepreneur. Can I speak to people? Do I have issues that I'm dealing with, maybe that have not been processed, like maybe grief that affect my emotional and mental? Do I have family issues or relationships that I have not sorted out? So that's why for me, it's a holistic approach.
But let us understand here.
Yes.
What is it about the human brain or the human psyche that makes it unable, if you will, to realize opportunities? You've just been giving an example that sometimes people, you see somebody opening up a tuck shop, then you want to start a tuck shop. You see somebody becoming a designer, that's what you feel you want to be going into. So my question to you right now is, what is it that makes people's approach to their own personal development or how they look at what they can achieve based off of another person's, instead of themselves seeking out opportunities that would be better suited for themselves?
Can I blame a little bit to our education system maybe? Because we go to school and we are taught that you go to school, you acquire a certain achievement level of education so that you get employed. And when that does not happen, it comes with a lot of frustration. And it's only right now that we're beginning to hear things of personal development. It was not there. It was get an education, get this kind of education, go get employed. So when that doesn't happen, Pona, what do we turn to? We copy. Because that person is achieving. Maybe if I copy, when you're grown up, you say you benchmark, but basically it's copy. So if I go and copy what that person is doing, I don't even have an understanding whether I can speak. Because business take a lot of talking. We're talking about self-doubt. I've not dealt with some issues of self-doubt. I do not know how to even do some little accounts. So before you can even go to start anything, begin with, what do I have with me? What are my strengths? What are my skill set? What are my competencies? What experience could I have acquired over the years? It doesn't mean that I went to school. Let's take something like farming. I'll give you an example with my brother. Is that okay? He was in the military for so long. He was in the US military. And when he was there, he picked farming, hay farming. He says with the Wazungus, with the white people where he was working in America. And now he's implementing that so well in Kenya. I know there are skill sets and experiences that right here in Botswana that we can pick that is aligned to our passions and our strengths, and also aligned to the opportunity.
I want to go back to something here. Yes. You've just been mentioning that your brother was in the military and then he ended up venturing into farming.
Yes.
Right? Not too long ago, whole cultures were farmers. They did not need an education to actually make a living, to achieve anything really. They were able to. But now, the mentality is that, like we're having this conversation, you just need a higher education.
Yes.
What changed? What is it that makes us not realize that all of these things can be parallel?
I think, again, it's our education system, honestly. And I am going to say this looking a little bit down because our policies, probably then for education, we are aligned that you go to school, get education. But also maybe a bit of lack of exposure. For my brother, when he went to the US and joined the military, he says that you don't just go sit there in the military base. You go to the farm, you do other things. And from there, he realized that he had interest in growing hay. So he came back to Kenya. He helped the people who were in semi-arid areas like Botswana, which could do so well with growing hay or other animal crops because we keep animals here. And he started helping farmers in the local area where he was doing, just piloting a bit. And he realized that that experience he had gained there has gained a lot back in Kenya. What can we do here is, again, changing the mindset. The mindset that I need to go to school, get employed, be like Wairimu, be like Pona. I can use what I have. What are the available resources that we have here? And what are the opportunities? We have land, but we can sell meat, we can keep cattle. But again, I'm not sure how to say this without sounding a little bit indifferent. Are the cattle we keep for benefit or sentimental?
Let us conclude this conversation here with, you've just been talking about a mindset, right? A mindset shift, which brings me to my question of that mindset shift. That would help us rid ourselves of the idea that for me to be able to achieve anything, to do anything, is if I have a higher education. And mind you, like you rightly pointed, we're not saying that higher education or education at all is not important. It is important. Yes. But how do we then align ourselves with the reality that it is not just education that would help you do all of these things? Yes. What would it take for that mindset shift to happen? Is it a collective effort? Is it an individual effort?
It starts with an individual. It starts with an individual to realize that what direction do I want to take? And I want to speak to the mindset a little bit because I know our president is talking a lot about that. I'm from the school of thought of the growth mindset, that every situation can change and every ability, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in education, whether it's in keeping your chickens, or can change. And this change by, number one, having a good focus or having a good goal, working on it, putting strategies of transformation into your focus. And you don't need to have big degrees. Go get help, then improve on it. Put hard work, learn and improve. So this is a process and it's not gonna change overnight. Yesterday, concluding on this, I was doing my nails, as you can see, they're good. And I listened to this lady who talked about herself being in this business for 30 years. She is not where she started with the mindset then. She's where she's now training people and doing well over 30 years.
This program was brought to you in association with First National Bank of Botswana.